Hi, I'm Siegel Coonerty. I'm a partner with Siegel Coonerty. We're personal injury and medical malpractice attorneys here in Manhattan, New York. Thank you for watching this video about a construction worker accident that I personally handled. This is a case that settled for $850,000 after some time investigating the matter and some litigation. Let me tell you a little bit about it. This is a worker that was on a site that had to reach up to a high level in order to pry a sign off of the front of a building. In order to do so, he had to cobble together a device to get him up as high as he needed because the construction site did not have either a proper scaffold or a long enough ladder to allow him to reach the height. He had to take a ladder and put it on top of what's called a Baker scaffold, which is a lower scaffold that's able to be moved. So as soon as he walked up the ladder, which was on top of the Baker scaffold, unfortunately what happened is that the ladder pushed out the scaffold and he fell. Now, under the law, even if he was slightly at fault for putting this combination together, it's of no consequence because the law for construction workers in New York states that the owner of the construction site and the general contractor that was in charge of that construction site should have provided this worker with either a longer ladder or a higher scaffold. He made do with what he had, and chances are many times the accident wouldn't have happened, but it happened to this individual, so he came to us. He sustained devastating injuries that kept him out of work potentially for years, possibly the rest of his life. When he fell onto both of his feet, and if I use this model here, you can see what he did. One of his feet bent when he fell, and he sustained what's called a trimalleolar fracture, which means that all the bones that connect his lower leg to his foot were broken, inside and outside. He also, on his other foot, sustained a crumbling fracture of his calcaneus bone, his heel. And on top of it, this client, this unfortunate individual, is a diabetic. So although his initial fracture with the ankle was able to be repaired surgically, at least to some extent, on his other foot, his cuboid fracture, they were not able to do the surgery because as a diabetic, they did not think he would be able to heal from it. So he was left with a remodeling of his heel that was in an altered and deformed state for the rest of his life. Now, as a construction worker, if you're not able to walk around and get around and move around quickly, you're going to have an awful tough life ahead of you trying to do your job. The reason I tell you this story is because you're probably going to have questions. Either you or someone you know who's a construction worker that was hurt because they fell or was in any other way injured on a construction site wants to know if they have legal rights, wants to know if they're entitled to compensation. I can answer those questions. Call me at 212-532-0532. Ask to speak to Siegel Coonerty at Siegel Coonerty. Thank you for watching this video.